Hey everyone, Dragonfire here, and today, welcome to my new series, Have You Met? And today we're going to be taking a look at Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is a early access roguelike deck builder game. And I know it's a lot of words, um, but it's a good example of what the game is. So basically, every run you do is different, and you always start from the beginning and then work your way through the 3 levels they currently have in the game. And if you die, you start all over. And if you win, you start all over. Um, and on your way, you're building up relics that give you certain power-ups and abilities, as well as collecting cards for your deck. And when you look at how much content's currently in the game for an early access game, it does have a lot. It has 114 relics and 187 cards. I have been playing this game for 42 hours, and I still haven't seen all the cards. I'm missing 2. Now, with How Have You Met, I want to show you guys games that I have a lot of time in, so that, I get the best view I can of the games. So that's enough talking. Let's hop right into the gameplay. So, currently in the game, because this again is early access, there are 2 classes. The Ironclad, which is a lot of hard-hitting attacks and buffing your strength and just getting a ton of attacks that hit hard. As well as we have the Silent. Now the Silent plays a little differently. She has a bunch of poison and a lot of free low-cost attacks that also have low damage. So with her, you want to try to play as many attacks as possible, or stack as much poison as possible. The 2 classes I have currently do play a lot differently from each other, and they still feel like the same game, but the strategy that you're using with both of these classes is a lot different. So today we're gonna just go through with the Ironclad, because I find it to be the easier class to play. And right here you start off. This is kind of a carryover from your last run. If you make it past the first level, you get to choose a bonus. Usually I choose this one. And I think I'm going to choose it here, even though it's going to be kind of detrimental to the video, but it's a good ability. So I chose that, gave me a relic. Up here are your relics that show you your abilities. You have your starting class one, which the Ironclad has Burning Blood, so he heals at the end of combat. And then the Niao Lammet, which is just the first 3 enemies you fight have 1 HP. So this is the meat of the game. You start off at the bottom of the level, and you have to work all your way up to the boss. And along the way, there are things you can run into. You have your basic fights, your mystery rooms. They can have anything from a special event to a shop to an enemy. I usually go for these quite a bit. Then you have your shops, your bonfires, which is where you can either upgrade cards in your deck or sleep to heal some HP. And you have your elite mobs. Now these are really strong fights that will reward you with a relic. Regular fights, say, don't reward you for relic. You either you get gold and a card from them, but you will not get a relic. So I think I am going to take this path here, so I can easily get these 3 off. And then, actually, I want to test something with this, so I'm going to use it here. I want to see if I can fight an elite with this, and it count for the elite. I'm going to start here. So these are the battles. You have your hand right here. This is your discard pile, your draw pile, your energy, and then your enemies, and your potions. That's basically everything that's being used in battles. Now, on the enemy side, you have their HP, which is set to 1 because of my relic. Their abilities will be labeled down here. And then their intentions are up here. So this guy here is going to be using a buff, and this one's going to be attacking for 5 damage. In our hand, we have strikes and defense. Because we just started, we don't have anything too advanced yet. So strikes, pretty simple. Their attack. So I summon it, and I choose which one I want to use it on, and it does 6 damage. Defense, on the other hand, I use them, they use them myself, and give me 5 block, so I can block up to 5 damage. So if I let this go, and he attacks me, I take no damage because I had 5 block. Now he's going to use a negative effect on me, so I'll just kill him off really quickly. And then because of my relic, I heal for 6. And then I collect my rewards, which I got gold, a potion, and I get to choose a card. Now, at the beginning of the run, it's a little hard to kind of see where your deck's going to go. So I start with just taking the best card there. I don't really think about my overall deck structure. So I'm just going to take a block here and continue on our way. So here's a special event where you basically get a counter and you get to choose from between 2 options, and I'm going to choose here to receive gold and a curse. So what curses are, they're unplayable cards that go into your deck, and some of them have negative effects when you draw them. Others have just take up a card in your hand. Okay, so here we have another fight. So I have my curse right here, so I can't play it. I can't get rid of this without having a card or a potion to get rid of it. I actually have a potion right here that'll remove it. Only for the combat. And at the end of my turn, if I don't get this out of my hand, I'll get 1 weak. And what weak is, it makes you deal 25% less damage. So instead of doing 6 damage, I'll do 4 damage with my strikes. I'm just going to do that really quick. Armaments is a great card. It basically, you use it, you get 5 block, and you upgrade a card in your hand. When you upgrade Armaments, it'll upgrade your whole hand for the rest of combat. It is a go-to. And I'm not going to be able to fight the elite with 1 HP because I have at least 2 fights. Oh, potion room, take that. And so yeah, that's pretty much the game structure of the game. You know, you just keep doing this until you get to the end of the game. Now, here's a good way to show you how to upgrade stuff. So I'm out of campfire. I can either heal, but I'm full health, so no point to heal, so I'll upgrade. And now, Armaments is better. And I'll fight an elite. So, I think we got pretty lucky. This is actually one of the easier elites. So, we'll just go on. So I applied Vulnerable, so it makes him take 50% more damage. And then he used a buff, makes it so when I play a skill, such as Armaments, he'll gain 2 strength, which will make him do that much more damage. So right there I use a skill, and I got my armor, and I got my hand upgraded, but he gained 2 strength, so now he's doing 16 instead of 14. So it's kind of like a battle of attrition with this guy. You don't want to power him up too much, but you don't want to take too much damage from him. So right here, if I play a block, I'll be getting 8 block, while he'll only be doing 2 more damage. So overall, I'll save 6 damage, so I'll use it. I also used a poison potion on him to make him take damage every turn. And with poison, he'll take that much damage on his turn. And then, after he takes the damage, the poison counter will drop by 1. So let's continue hitting him. And I'll take 18 damage to the face. I'll play armaments. Take some more damage. And next turn, he is dead. Boom. And that's an elite. So, like I said, elites will always drop a relic. So, I get to start the game with, the match with a armaments now. Thunderclap's really good. And we continue on. Here's a shop. So, at a shop, he'll have 5 class-specific cards. So, red cards for the Ironclad, green cards for the Huntress. And then he'll also have 2 colorless cards, which are the same for any class, 3 potions, and 3 relics. As well as he'll have the ability to remove a card from your deck, including curses. So, I think I'm going to go with this relic here, which makes it so if I'm going to take 5 or less damage, I'll only take 1 damage instead. Which is really good. One of my favorite relics. And now we're at the halfway point. At the halfway point, you get a free relic. I got Toxic Egg, get to upgrade something. That goes to 8. Might as well. Do I want to upgrade something or a random? I'll go for a random. I don't really got too many cards. Hey! Free relic. I went for that instead of the fire because I didn't really have too much cards that I really want to upgrade, even, you know, especially since I have armaments at the first turn every turn. As well as I didn't want to heal because, from my personal experience, you only really need 40 HP to really beat most of the bosses. And we'll just keep trucking. So, I know at the moment it may not seem like, you know, the end-all be-all great game that I'm saying it is. We do have a pretty boring deck, and we are playing what I consider the more straightforward of the 2 classes. But in the end, it, you know, if it's not the game for you, it's not the game for you. But I still think this is probably one of my favorite games to come out in a long time. The amount of polish it's getting, especially for an early access game, is just astounding to me. And the amount of attention the developers are giving it with the weekly updates and the engaging with their player base, it's really nice to see. So here we are fighting another elite pack. These guys are pretty annoying. they recently got recently got a nerf, so they're not as annoying. And if you have the right relic, it actually makes it really funny because days, it's in your hand, you can't play it, but at the end of your turn, it's exhausted, which means it's removed from play. And there are some really good synergies with exhaust, especially for the Ironclad. So if you have some of those synergies by the time you get to this fight, and they just keep loading your hand with days, sometimes it'll be pretty good just to draw a full hand of days. So we're just continuing, blocking as much damage as we can and outputting as much damage as we can, and going through the fight. They also started with immunity, but I was able to take that off them pretty quickly with Thunderclap because it applies one vulnerable to all enemies. So just playing it once took off all their immunity. One of the many reasons it's such a great card. Just gonna put Bash on him. Take 8 damage to the face. And so as you've seen there, I didn't have any blocks in my hand. So it's kind of a good example of deck balance. You don't want to load your deck up with too many attacks so you don't get enough blocks. But at the same time, you don't want to load your deck up with too many blocks so you don't get any attacks. You just gotta find that nice sweet balance between the two. We get another relic, we get to pick a card. We'll go that one. And so we get another. Oh, I had a Thunderclap. This is such a good fight for Thunderclap. So much so that I'm actually gonna try to get it here. Nope. $13 damage. So I can do that and block 13. But I'm also gonna get a negative effect from him, which I think green is weak. Yep. These guys apply weak, these guys apply feeble. Feeble is basically weak, but for blocking. So now we can do that. Kill him off next turn. Take 1 damage because of our relic. And then we can kill him off. So yeah, you can see like the battles are a lot of calculating how much damage you can do, how much damage you can block, trying to weaken and control the enemies as much as you can. It's a really complex game with a simple look to it. And it's one of those games that are actually really easy to pick up and play, but can be pretty difficult to master and learn all the ins and outs. Here we got Plot Weakness, which is one of my favorite cards for the Ironclad, letting us gain strength whenever we see whenever we use it on someone that is attacking. Okay. We'll block, take 6 damage, I think. Yep. I relic didn't proc because it was more than 5, unfortunately. I'm playing a little more conservatively because we're getting close to the boss, and I kind of want to upgrade a card instead of healing. But if we have to, we have to. I'm going to use that to gain strength. Strength, basically, you deal that much more damage than what the card says. So this is usually 4 damage, now it's 7. 13. Or block 8. Block 8. So we're taking quite a bit of damage here. Nothing that's going to be run ending, but you know, enough to be concerned. And we're probably going to have weakness for the rest of the fight. So, there we go. He's dead next turn. We'll continue getting major stacks of weakness. Kill him. We will block all damage, because now we have a fairly simple enemy to fight. And we're going to be at 50 HP for the boss, which is more than enough. Ooh, we're going to take that. We'll get that card. And we shall upgrade. I think spot weakness to help us get some extra strength quicker. And we're on the first level boss. Now, each level has 3 bosses. And right here we got the Guardian, who has a mode shift. So right now he's in his offensive mode. Once we do 30 damage to him, and it's any damage, so potions, poison, anything, he'll switch to defensive mode. So let's get him to that as quick as we can. Let's do that. So it's going to be pretty easy to put him into defensive mode next turn, which will interrupt his current attack. So right now he's doing 32. Which we actually... Oh yeah, we can. But vulnerable... That won't be enough, actually. Right here I'm going to use a potion on him. Make him do 25% less damage, right? Yep. This is only going to do... not enough. So at the end of the chapter, you will heal the full life, so I'm just going to take the 24 damage to the chin. And that's kind of an example of, you know, not loading the deck correctly. I wasn't able to do enough damage to him. So I suffered the consequences of taking some extra damage. Now he's in his defensive mode, and with this, he will have a Thorn ability, so every time I hit him with an attack, he'll do 3 damage back to me. So it's not the end of the world. Kind of just, you know, play some extra blocks and hit him. Make sure you can cover for the 6 damage he's going to do, plus the 3 damage you're going to take for hitting him. Now he's going to do 16 damage. Let's go that. Now he's dealing 12. And I have no defense. I really hope I don't lose here. I wasn't paying too much attention though to my deck building, and I'm paying for it now. Take 7 damage here, and I'm pretty sure I'm dead. Oh no, thank God. You always help me, buddy. Now our strength is getting pretty up there, so we might snowball pretty quickly into something he can't deal with. Yeah, so we're starting to do a lot of damage. So I might have called it too early, but I don't want to be too overconfident yet. So I'm just trying to take the least amount of damage I can. And hoping to God I keep drawing blocks. So I'm going to take 1 damage here. Thank God for this relic. At 50, 21, 18, 18, we can definitely bring him down to defensive mode. So yeah, this is the real 7 blocks be +4 block. So this is like the big draw to the Ironclad, you know, just gaining strength, because now all my attacks are dealing 16 more damage than normal. So right here, you can kill him without me dying, I'm pretty sure, and yeah, we do. There we go. A little close, I would say. But nothing too bad, I would say. So at the end of the boss, you do get a special boss relic chest, which will contain a choice of 3 relics. And usually they are a give and take relic, like this. You gain energy, but all enemies will start with 2 strength, so all enemies will do 2 extra damage. So I tend not to take these too often, but like right here, Black Star is one of my favorite. Elites will now drop 2 relics. So good, especially if you get it on the first boss chest. That means you have 2 more levels of elites that you get double from. And then we move on to the 2nd level. So I'm not gonna bother going through a whole playthrough. A playthrough usually takes around anywhere between 50 minutes to maybe an hour and a half. But the game does offer a save and continue feature, so if you don't have the full 50 minutes to commit to a run, you can easily just exit and come back to it later. So yeah, that has been Slay the Spire. It is an early access game, but it's probably one of the only early access games I've ever played that feels complete as it is. As it is now, it's not a huge, robust game, but it's definitely worth the money they charge for it, and I definitely feel like I got my money's worth, even with the amount of content that's in it right now. And they do plan to add a lot more. They do plan to add in another class. That's something they've already been talking about, and they've already been teasing with the patch notes. They are talking about new bosses and new enemies. Nothing's confirmed yet, so that's all for the future to see. And anything they are adding to it is all going to be free because it's in early access. So anything they're adding to it is just content that they're adding to the game itself. They're not going to charge it in as DLC, at least until the game comes out. After the game is released from early access, I don't know if they're going to be adding any expansions to it. If they do, I think it would be worth it. But all in all, this game has just been so much fun, and I'm addicted to it. I do at least 1 run a day, and I'm currently trying to get all the achievements in the game. Even though Steam achievements don't do anything, it's going to be the first game I ever 100%, just because I love playing it so much. And unfortunately, as it is now, it doesn't have enough content to really warrant me playing it every day. but I really want to play it every day. So going after the achievements is just something, an excuse for me to play the game. So I hope you liked the video. I hope that it was informative enough for you, and you got to get acquainted with Slay the Spire. If you're interested in the game, I'll leave the link down below in the description, and you can check it out for yourself. It again is early access, so if you're kind of weary about early access, maybe add this game to your following list. But if you are trusting, I do think it's worth it even in its current state. Anyhow, I've been Dragonfire, and hope you all have a great day.